grinning, waiting for it to tell me it's live, even though it's always like,
Gosh, what did you tell me? My button wasn't buttoned.
oh,
I
Clave.
look dreadful.
We caught that right as we went live. You saw
Oh,
Clave regaining his decency with his
oh
by buttoning his
no.
button. Welcome, nerds, to Wednesday's Punch List, where we break down the nerdy news of the past week, specifically for you. It may be a week old, but it's new to us having a conversation about it. I'm here, of course, with my esteemed colleague over at nerdsonearth.com, Clave. Clave, thanks for joining me to talk news today.
Hey, buddy.
It's always a good week of news, man. Just like
It is a good
always.
week of news.
We
It
got
really is.
we got some hot stuff coming down the pipeline.
Hot.
So let's not waste any time. Let's get into the news.
No, let's don't dilly dally. Let's do it.
No, no. So of course the punch list found over at nerdsonearth.com. It's a website. Check it out. You can follow along with us at home, or whenever you're watching this, you can go back and look at the punch list from 916. Number 7, Doctor Who. The Daleks are getting their own animated series. And that is coming in November. It's going to be 5-10 minute, super tiny episodes. I would call this a mini series by that definition. Um,
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? 50 minutes of content. So
yeah,
that's
a nice
that's something.
for those people who are craving Doctor Who. It's going to be part of the massive Time Lord Victorious story being told across several mediums. So if you are well up to date with your Doctor Who comics and novels and escape rooms, which I didn't know that was a thing, but it's a thing, this is one more aspect of that story.
Is the escape room larger in the inside than on the outside?
I hope so. If they could figure that out, I mean, think of the architectural possibilities that's going to open up. And they're
Are
and
are
they're
you a Who guy?
I've watched. There was a summer, probably. Oh man, it was probably like 8 years ago when Doctor Who kind of first went on Netflix, and so it was all the none of the old Doctor Who. It was all the I think David Tennant and on.
Yeah,
I
like
watched.
10 years ago or
I mean,
something.
I watched
Doc,
like
Mr. Purple.
yes, and I watched probably those 3 to 5 seasons maybe, and I liked it. It's just I mean it's so outlandish some of it, but I mean that's
Yeah.
the world. So I haven't.
I
That's it.
love campy, outlandish stuff. So I really want to be a Who guy. It's just overwhelming to me. There's so much,
Oh,
and
it is.
I'm a nerd, so I'm a completionist. So literally, I get the shakes to like start mid-season and something. It's like no, I got to watch it all. Like I have to watch every single episode
Right.
because I'm a completionist, and it's annoying, but it's who I am. I got to
It's who you are.
who it's who I am. So no, I really want to be a Who guy, but it just seems overwhelming to get into it now. But um, huge fan base, so hopefully they're happy about this animated series. That sounds fun.
Yeah, agreed. All right, number 6 on the punch list, The Walking Dead conclusion. It's coming to an end after 11 seasons, announced by AMC.
Is it?
Well,
Yeah,
it's not because spin-off series, which is the other half of the
that's
news.
right.
We're getting a Daryl and Carol series, uh, and is going to be like the anthology type that they did for Tales of the Walking Dead. But we don't. I guess we don't really know much more other than that, like what sort of timeline we're talking about as far as you know
Yeah.
within the whole Walking Dead universe. Um, but it's coming. So there
Yeah.
is the endless horde of the dead continues with the Walking Dead spin-off series.
Yeah. Same question. Are you a Walking Dead guy? Are you a zombie?
Again, yeah, I'm a zombie. I stopped a couple years ago. It lost its appeal for me.
Yeah.
Too much. What I liked about The Walking Dead in the beginning was that it was about survival and it was about dealing with the threat.
Hmm.
And then when the threat just became other people, it was like, I get
Yeah.
enough people on people stuff with other shows.
They really rode that hype train hard, particularly around the Negan season, and they just flew too close to the sun. Um,
Right.
they just it was just too much. So I think a lot of people dropped off, and I'm a little bummed about that. I think it's easy now to forget what a big deal The Walking
Oh, it was
Dead was.
huge. It was so good. I remember
It was,
that the first
I mean, it
episode
was
even.
water cooler TV. Like we all just gathered around, like, oh, kind of like Lost was back in the day. One of
Right.
those where it's just so good, and it's easy now to just look back and go meh. But no one was meh back
No
then.
one was
Everyone was
meh.
in. So
Everyone was on it.
no, so I'm. It's good. It's good. It's wrapping up. Um, yeah, you're excited about these spinoffs. I mean, who doesn't like Carol and Daryl, right? And so
Yeah.
maybe it'll give it a little life. They're making a Rick movie, and so maybe these little short run little things are what they needed to keep that alive a little bit. So,
It's
but
a little more tangible, a little more consumable for maybe to people get back in, just be like, oh, maybe I'll see what this is all
yeah,
about, and they could still be a fan without having watched the entire everything.
yeah. I mean, 11 seasons is gosh,
That's
that's a lot of.
that's 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 no joke, especially since they split
Yeah.
up. They did like half a season like spring and then half in fall.
Oh yeah.
Like where you
And
have
at
this
some point, you
long
just
wait.
can't.
It makes it seem longer than honestly. I saw 11. I was like, only 11. I thought it was like 16, but
Doesn't it? It feels like
it seems like
30,
I've
32
it's
seasons at
like
this
my
point.
whole
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So that's coming out. Daryl and Carol. What a great rhyming name. Well, I don't know if that's actually. I don't know if that's the name of it, but it's titled Tales of the Walking Dead is what it's called. Um, all right.
Tales of the Walking Dead.
So that is excellent. Number 5, Paizo has announced a new Lost Omens title. We knew it was all coming, and this one is going to be on the Mwangi Expanse, which is that wild jungle region of Galarian. So they're getting its own 300 plus page book, just like all the other Lost Omens content. History, geography, inhabitants, culture, lore, all that stuff wrapped up, which is really cool. I think it's probably one of the more underexplored Galarian areas. There's not really I can't even think of any adventure paths really go in there right like with first edition or anything if any really focus in that area.
Yeah. This is great. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, to have the big, huge source book. First of all, the Lost Omens line, if you're not familiar with Pathfinder second edition, the Lost Omens line is their setting books, and they are unbelievably good.
They're
I mean, you and I talk
fantastic.
about this all the time. Yeah, just like we tell folks, they're just so engaging, interesting, cleverly presented, just well
Really
done
good.
for a role playing game. It's they're a hidden treasure. I mean, obviously Pathfinder doesn't have the name recognition of D&D, but if you're into D&D at all, it's worth your time to give Pathfinder second edition a look, and this Lost Omens line. And so this is the Mwangi Expanse. It's the real life analog would be what Congo, Zimbabwe, um,
Yeah, right.
and yeah. I mean, I've been fortunate. I have never traveled to the Congo, but I have stood across a lake and looked over into the Congo, um, and so I've seen that real world. It's unbelievably lush and gorgeous and beautiful people and wonderful people with such a rich history, and of course that will all be remixed and reimagined and reshaped
Right.
to fit a role-playing game, you know, setting. But I mean, how much fun is that? And I love that the whole premise is a wizarding school, which
Yes.
is in the Pathfinder setting. That's the biggest, most famous, whatever school of wizardry.
Right.
And so, I mean, how
Warthogs.
fun is that going to be? You can imagine just how fun those adventures are going to be. So that's fun. You get an adventure path, which is that 6 issue serialized storyline, and then you get the Lost Omen source book. So us nerds get all we need to have some fun adventuring.
Yes, really looking forward to it. It's going to be, like you said, just ton of fun. Such a good, cool region to explore.
Yeah.
And to release it alongside that adventure is just smart, and people are gonna eat it up,
Yep.
us included.
Yep. Great. Totally. I can't wait.
Awesome. Number 4. So the Xbox, we're shifting over to the video game world. Xbox Series S and X launch date and prices were announced. So the next gen is coming on November 10th. Pre-orders beginning next week on the 22nd of September.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about it is they kind of presented this rental plan, sort of the cell phone model of, you can get the smaller console with the Xbox Game Pass for, I don't remember what it was, like $35 a month or something. So you pay for that, and I don't know what happens at the end of the 24-month period. What happens to that console? Sounds like they want to just release another console after 2 years, sort of an upgrade version of that, and maybe that just carries over and you return the other one or something. I don't know how it works, but
yeah,
that's the all digital version will be retailing at $299 with the standard Series X at $499. Clave.
Yeah. I mean, new Xbox. I mean, that's fun. And then what isn't in here is hot off the presses is PlayStation 5 followed this news with news of their own. So the console wars are
brewing.
So November 10th is Xbox, and November 22nd or something was
November 12th.
PlayStation.
November 12th is the PS5.
November
2 days later.
Oh gosh, are you kidding me?
But
there's going to be nerds.
Oh yeah.
Knife fights in the streets. What's going on?
The only difference.
Cats and dogs.
The only difference is the
price.
Go ahead, Cliff.
Well, you were going to talk about the price point of the lower one. The PlayStation's a little more expensive, yeah.
Right. The PlayStation. So the standard console is the same, $499. The digital is $399. Although that's not a. Again, I don't know if the Series S is explicitly for that rent to own type thing or what's going on there, but the digital is priced at a higher price point than the Xbox version, which is pretty. I mean, it's $100 is a substantial difference in price.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors. I mean, GameStop, the secondary market for discs is all but dried up.
Right.
The download it's everything about it's changing. All the logistics to the economics to everything about it is changing. So yeah, good on Xbox for trying something different. Kind of I guess a rent to own or whatever.
Yep.
I think that's good. Meanwhile, I'm a dad now, so like I'm a Switch guy.
He's a Switch guy.
Like I got my Switch, so I'll probably my days of surviving more than 30 seconds in Call of Duty are long gone.
You're gonna be playing the Super Mario All Stars coming out with Mario Sunshine and Galaxy and 64.
Yeah, I can dominate my 9-year-old on Mario Kart.
Claim to fame. Win the Grand Prix, the household Grand Prix.
Right. That's right.
So yeah, new consoles, very exciting. The other thing we didn't mention is pre-orders for the PS5 actually begin as early as tomorrow, September 17th.
The Nerds on Earth, the Nerds on Earth Discord is going to be. There'll be some chatter in there. We'll see which our buddies are going to get.
Yes.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure there'll be a lot of opinions in there.
Many opinions for sure. Us nerds like our opinions.
That's right.
Awesome. Number 3 on the list, New York Comic Con has revealed its first wave of virtual panels. So, of course, like all other conventions this year, it is going to be a streaming format coming to you for New York Comic Con, which, Comic Con, again, it's sort of a hard one to see how they're going to do digitally when it's Comic Con. How do you get that experience in your living room? But it's still October 8th through 11th, so in less than a month. And they have released that first slate of programming. It's going to be available over on YouTube. You can follow all those virtual panels and see what's up at New York Comic Con. You don't even have to go to the Big Apple, Clave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you watched any online cons?
I did some Gen Con stuff when it was on, and then I watched a little bit of the DC fandom when that was on. But
I haven't watched a second of any of it.
It's hard because it's when you're at a convention, it's like that's your weekend, or that's your 4 days of gaming, and when you're at home, it's like I don't want to just sit. There's too much going on. I can't just sit here at a screen and watch panels unfold. It's it's a lot harder. There's not that mindset.
Yeah. My 9-year-old calls it the poopy face coronavirus, and I agree with that.
I agree there. Let's get it renamed.
The poopy face coronavirus has upended a lot of stuff, including the world of cons, and also, but they were getting pretty bloated. The whole con scene was there was some. I don't want to use the word bubble, but it felt like there was a bubble there that was perhaps bursting, and you had these conventions that had hundreds of thousands of people that even in a year without the poopy face coronavirus felt like an outbreak ready to happen.
Right.
So I've even though I haven't watched any of it, because we're nerds, that's Nerds on Earth. That's what we do, is we keep track on this stuff. And I've heard some positives and some negatives. The positive being, I think they're getting limited eyeballs, but is engagement really there? So the positives, it's like, yes, they can claim people are watching it, but I think that also they're understanding that the engagement's not there. I think some of the big money makers, they've transitioned just fine. Like, they've learned to make money.
Right.
You know how to make money, right? So I think a perfect example are the author autographs, right? You would stand in this big long line and you'd pay $200 to, get the picture
Get
with
Mark
Fillion
Twain's, yeah.
Totally.
Or Nathan Fillion, different cons. I'm going to a historical authors con.
Yeah. So the celebrities, they love that because they're making a ton of dough, a ton of money, and the convention goers would take a cut. Well, what they found is they could sell 90-second Zoom time with Nathan Fillion, and Nathan Fillion doesn't have to put on pants, and the fans, they don't have to stand in line, and the fans get that little bit of engagement. And so they've found a way to make that work. I think the losers in this, and we've seen this in the board game industry, you and I, is just that, man, there's a buzz in the dealer hall that's just
an excitement.
New product out there, getting that excitement, getting that,
you see that bag go by, you're like, what's that? What was that? What is that? Where'd you get that? I need to go get that.
Like, I'm gonna buy a piece of $9 pizza while I go find that. Whatever.
Where are you finding pizza for $9? That's cheap, man. That's cheap.
So that's been something that hasn't been able to be replicated. But on the other hand, you've had some vendors that are the price per a small booth has been so high, like the little, selling the back issue comic books. They have to pay thousands upon thousands for that booth space and all the travel expenses, and they might not make their money back, And so I think, with everything else in our country, there's been winners and losers in this shift, and but it's bizarre. I mean, so much of the rhythm of nerddom has revolved around cons probably the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
More older, but certainly the last 5 years they've been so huge, and then an abrupt shift. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out.
Yeah, who knows if this is going to get once cons start going back in person, if people are going to, there's going to be this huge, massive people just like waiting, like, and have attendance be crazy, or if people are going to be like, it's a lot of people in one place, I'm going to stay home. It's like it's so the uncertainty is unreal. So we'll definitely see.
I wear my mask wherever I go. Like, I'm probably not going to go back to cons anytime soon.
Right.
Large crowds. I'm just going to take it easy.
You know what, Clave? I will get you. You can cosplay as Bubble Boy and go to as many cons as you want. And then it's perfect. It's perfect.
Was that a fat joke?
No, it's not. It's a Bubble Boy joke. Jeez, man, you're sensitive. I can't say anything. I watch what I say.
Sensitive.
You have such sensitive skin. You have to be careful when you get those new Gillette cartridges.
Oh, totally. All the shaving I do.
Right. Number 2 on the punch list. We are so close to the end.
We're almost finished.
We can get there. The last 2 here are in the same vein, both trailers. So we get the long-awaited Dune trailer last week. So you can watch that. I mean, it's Warner Brothers. And you watch it, Clave?
What was interesting in the Nerds on Earth Discord is there weren't a whole lot of people that were like, yeah, man, I'm into Dune. There was a lot of people that are like, actually, I've never seen the old one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, and so I'm old. Like it was a thing when I was around, and I don't remember it. Like I remember that Sting was in it, and that's all I really. But
that's the important part.
I've even seen it. Yeah, I don't know that I've even seen it. So I didn't watch the trailer. I'm not tripping over myself to catch Dune. I don't know. Theaters aren't even a thing now. Who knows? Whatever. Maybe it'll. Well, whatever. But yeah. I mean, I think that's a property that was probably likely to get rebooted. So I'm not really surprised.
Right. Yeah. The trailer looked good. It looked very dark, which I don't know. There's so much gritty. I'm tired of the DC grittiness.
When did DC buy Dune?
Right, exactly. That's what I said. I was like, is this a Batman movie or is this Dune?
It is Warner Brothers.
It is, and they love that color palette, which is just apply a filter of gray over the top.
Want to talk about something not gritty? Their misery in The Walking Dead, Abram. The long, shambling walk.
They did it.
Of the dead is over, except for some spinoff news. Would you like to take it from number 5 on the recap?
I didn't even get to talk about the Mando with you.
Hey, you shouldn't freeze up, buddy.
I don't understand. I'm very perturbed. I'm very perplexed and perturbed.
I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If you finish this recap, it's number 1. You can finish this recap, and then when it gets to Mando, you just say some fun stuff.
Okay, I'm going to go really quick then. Number 5. Paizo announces Lost Omens Mwangi Expanse is going to be super cool. 300 pages of awesome jungle hype. Number 4, Xbox S and X launch date is announced with prices. You can get the $299 version, the $499 version, or you can go with PS5, which is also just announced. It's great. Great for consoles everywhere and gamers too. Number 3, New York Comic-Con has revealed its new wave of virtual panels, and that is coming October 8th through 11th. Again, all digital, all available on YouTube. You can check it out and be in the New York Comic-Con experience at home. Number 2, the Dune trailer has dropped. It is dark. It is gritty. Will it be good? We'll have to wait and see. Number 1, Mandalorian Season 2 trailer has been released for all of us. It's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. Everything about the trailer is like, what's happening? I love it. It's got the little Mandalorian little comedy in there. It's just good. Just good.
Did you see it when Baby Yoda was like, nope? Did you see that part? It was so good.
It was so good.
It has some familiar stuff, but then it looks like it's going to take us to some new locales.
Yes.
There's going to be some new characters.
A little more jetpack usage. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited.
Jetpack.
So that's awesome. Go check it out. Sorry I froze everybody. I don't know. I'll figure it out maybe before 2 weeks from
Froze
now.
like Black Panther in that opening scene.
Ooh.
Remember?
Yeah.
Koya was like, "Don't freeze," and he's like, "I never freeze," and he froze.
Oh, he froze.
He froze.
So we'll work on the technical stuff over the next 2 weeks. We are not going to hit, well, I won't say we won't, but we probably won't have a live punch list breakdown next Wednesday. We'll still have the article over on the website, so you can get your fix of news there. But Clave and I will be back the following week, which is already pushing on the window of the end of September, last day of September, 9:30. Until then, be sure to check out Nerds on Earth for all the cool, nerdy content that your hearts crave and your minds crave too. Clave, it has been a pleasure to talk the news with you as always.
Later, nerds.